President says Kampala is ready to support Juba in laying its foundation. And coming up, thousands marches in eastern Equatorial State capital Torit to observe the country's first independence anniversary. Good evening. You are watching South Sudan Television broadcasting live from Juba. My name is Alejandro Lotok, and of course today is the 9th of July 2012, the country's first independence anniversary. Now the full text of the bulletin. A few hours to the climax of the first independence anniversary celebration in Juba today, President Salva Kiir had a busy schedule welcoming state guests at Juba International Airport. More of this story in this report.
Independence anniversary today. The celebration attracted a number of guests from different countries. The President of the Republic of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, welcomed his counterpart, the Ugandan President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, on his arrival with his delegation. And a number of ministers, together with the African Union Chair, Jean Ping, at Juba Airport. Later on, the other guests, including the Sudan Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Salah al-Din Wanesi, and his accompanying delegation, Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister Haile Mariam, and a representative from different countries were also ushered to the venue of the celebration to share the joy with the mammoth crowd of South Sudan citizens at the Dr. John Garang Mausoleum.
South Sudan today celebrated its first independence anniversary with President Salva Kiir outlining the successes and challenges of the new nation. Addressing the nation from the Freedom Square, President Kiir said the country was keen on addressing the challenges occasioned by the oil shutdown and called for support from both the public and the international community. Kiir said among the measures that the government has taken are construction of mini refineries at Upper Nile and Unity States and downsizing the civil service workforce to free money for development.
We are a free and liberated people, and in that we are celebrating. But as we celebrate this great achievement, we must know that freedom is not an end in itself, but a means to aspirations for liberty, justice, and prosperity. Ideals that my government is committed to uphold. Fellow citizens, 1 year ago, in the same field and across the land of our country, we looked up here as our flag was being hoisted for the first time. This flag has been up there since then and will remain there. Nobody will bring it down.
The head of state said his government was committed to fighting corruption and called for support of all South Sudanese and the international community to help the government tackle the vice. He expressed the government commitment to ensuring that all the children access quality basic education, adding that the country has to build the capacity of its children to enable them participate effectively in nation building.
At the moment, we are operating on an austerity budget due to loss of the oil revenue. We are also working on several alternatives to find other sources, including non-oil taxation, tax collection, and alternative oil infrastructure. And we are establishing, because of these alternatives, we are now establishing a small refinery in Upper Nile State, that is in Tiangreal area. We are also working in the Unity State to have a refinery there. And this thing has started and is already and in progress. These will solve some of our problems, although it will not solve all the problems. We have also signed memorandums of understanding with Kenya, Ethiopia, and Djibouti, how to construct alternative pipelines. These initiatives will also create jobs for our unemployed youth. It is therefore important that we maximize the limited resources we have in a manner that will benefit the people of South Sudan.
The Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has called on the people of South Sudan to unite in order to build a strong, viable nation. Museveni was speaking at the independence anniversary of South Sudan in Juba today. He congratulated South Sudanese on the occasion and said that it has taken long for the people of South Sudan to achieve their independence. He said Kampala will do everything possible to support Juba in its efforts to rebuild the country.
On behalf of the National Resistance Movement and on behalf of all the fair-minded people in the world, I congratulate the SPLM and the people of South Sudan on this day of 1 year since independence. Congratulations. In the world, the voice of the black people is not heard very much. Otherwise, the suffering of the black people of South Sudan should never have gone on for so long, because the issues were clear. At the same time, you should strengthen yourselves, because the world likes strong people, it doesn't like weak people.
Meanwhile, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Jean Ping, has commended the people of South Sudan for keeping the spirit of peace and unity. Ping said peace will only be possible if Juba and Khartoum live side by side as good neighbors and respecting each other's sovereignty.
May I call?
We are aware of the challenges facing South Sudan. This is why we note with pleasure that despite of budgetary constraints, you have decided to continue supporting the delivery of the basic services to your people, including in the health, education, social and security sector, and also by ensuring that efforts continue to put in place the necessary infrastructures, the base of any development. We are also happy that focus is being put on agriculture in order to take full advantage of the very vast and fertile land of South Sudan. We all know that South Sudan could quickly become the breadbasket of the region, and we encourage you to continue developing your agricultural potential. In this regard, the African Union will support South Sudan through its cadet programs.
Addressing the same occasion, the Central Equatorial Deputy Governor Manasseh Lomolewaya called on citizens to work for unity for the development of the country. He congratulated the people of South Sudan on the independence and honored the heroes and heroines who sacrificed their lives for freedom of the country. Lomole said the country has witnessed rapid development during the one-year period. He urged South Sudanese in diaspora to return home and participate in nation building.
Our guests, rest assured, you will go back home totally safe and peaceful. Tarmac roads that never existed before 2005, tarmac roads that were not there since creation are now here and increasing in length every day. Telecommunication has greatly improved. Our guests, you can rest assured that while in Juba, you can be connected in the whole world by phone, internet, or even Skype. Many of us today carry 3 or more cell phones in our pockets, an indication of the progress that has been made even in the shortest possible time of an independent nation. The view of Juba has greatly changed. Anyone who was here a year ago can testify to this fact. Yes, in 1 year of independence, Juba has greatly changed.
The Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister Haile Mariam assured his country's commitment to cooperate to the Republic of South Sudan in meeting the aspirations of the citizen. Haile, who was speaking in the first independence anniversary celebration at Dr. John Garang de Mabior in Juba today, assured that the two countries, Ethiopia and South Sudan, will resolve the outstanding comprehensive peace agreement between Sudan and South Sudan.
Many forums that you have to work towards maintaining soft borders with your brothers in the north with a view to ensuring that your two nations will remain viable states both in terms of peace and economic prosperity. We are confident that the people of South Sudan and their leadership are equal to the task. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, we in Ethiopia hold our relations with our South Sudanese neighbors with high regard. We do not simply share borders, but history, culture, and more importantly, a brighter future. Our cooperation on mutually beneficial infrastructure projects is a testament to our enduring interest and commitment to a common future. We will and should do more to nurture it, and I have high hopes that this will be a rewarding partnership in more ways than one.
The Kenyan Minister for Public Service, Dalmas Otieno, reaffirmed his government's commitment to support South Sudan in various fields and strengthen bilateral relations between Juba and Nairobi.
South Sudan remain characteristically warm and cordial. I'm confident that our two countries will continue working together to expand the scope of our relations and intensify the existing ties of friendship for the mutual benefit of our peoples. I wish Your Excellency good health and prosperity for the people of the Republic of South Sudan.
The Sudanese Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Salah El-Din Wanesi, representing Sudanese President, assured of his country's commitment to establish strong relations with South Sudan. Salah was addressing the audience at South Sudan's first independence anniversary in Juba today.
Ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with the historical relation between the two countries, we strive to be a good example for better bilateral relations and peaceful coexistence on both African and the world standards.
United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, in a message read by his Special Representative Hilda Johnson, congratulated South Sudanese on the first anniversary of its independence, saying the country's people have made tremendous sacrifices and can now proudly walk the world stage. The head of UN mission in South Sudan, Hilda Johnson, delivered Ban's remarks during celebration on South Sudan's independence today. Ban cautioned that the country still faces many challenges, but said the United Nations will continue to support the government and work to help resolve all outstanding issues with the neighboring Sudan.
South Sudan on the first anniversary of its independence. I had the honor of attending the independence ceremonies last year in Juba and was deeply impressed by the country's commitment to peace. The people of South Sudan have made tremendous sacrifices to reach this historic juncture, and I congratulate them for realizing their long-held aspirations. South Sudan can now proudly walk the world stage as citizens of a country that is a member of the United Nations and the African Union. They can now plan things for their children that they themselves could not dream of. Now their sights are set clearly on the future, a future in which a democratic South Sudan strives to improve the living standards of its citizens and plays a constructive role on the world stage. A lot has been achieved since independence, but a lot also needs to be done. The road ahead will not be without challenges. But I am confident that with the resilience of its people and the wisdom of its leadership, South Sudan will overcome any obstacles and succeed in becoming a prosperous nation.
Well, to discuss about the 9th of July 2012 celebrations, I'm joined live in the studio by Ambassador John Duku. Ambassador, you are welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
First of all, happy independence.
Thank you.
And Ambassador, what are we celebrating?
We are celebrating the first year of freedom. South Sudan became independent on the 9th July 2011. It is due to the heavy sacrifice of people of South Sudan that we arrived at independence. And this independence is so dear to us because we lost so many in the process of achieving this independence. It is the collective contribution of people of South Sudan in the referendum which delivered independence.